A couple of months ago, I began a capsule wardrobe challenge called Project 333, which meant that I'll be wearing only 33 items for the next 3 months. You might be wondering, why do this? What is the whole purpose of this experiment? Well, for me, I wanted to see how many items of clothing I actually need and actually wear. And sometimes putting ourselves up to the challenge can be the best way to find out. I was excited, a little bit nervous too, but most of all, what I ended up learning through this whole thing was very valuable. So let's talk about it. I know 33 pieces might sound like a lot to some of you, but I'm coming from a place where I had so much more. So this was definitely a new concept for me. So to backtrack a little bit, I started the challenge in July and I started off really strong. I was really excited and motivated, as you are at the beginning of any challenge. The second month, that's when things kind of started falling apart. Literally, my clothes were falling apart. There was definitely more wear and tear, and I even had to throw away one of my favorite tops, the white crochet top, because the threads were coming undone. Towards the end, I kind of got used to it. I was used to wearing the same thing over and over again, and it felt kind of normal to have 33 pieces in my closet. I actually had to end the challenge a little bit early because I was coming to Korea and Japan, and I knew that I needed some warmer clothes, but I'm really proud of myself for sticking through as long as I did. And I feel like it was such a valuable experience. And most importantly, I feel like I got the answers that I needed. The first thing that I noticed was that the 80-20 rule no longer applied. In my first video, I explained that the 80-20 rule, Pareto's principle, applied to our wardrobes. They say that we only wear about 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. I don't know if this is true for you guys, but it definitely was true for me. Before, I was only wearing a portion of my clothes, but when I reduced it significantly down to 33 pieces, and I handpicked the pieces that I was wearing the most, I felt like I was rotating through all of my clothes. Within the 3 months, I was able to wear all 33 pieces. I will say that I still had my favorites. I felt like I wore my leopard dress the most because I love the way that it fits. It's really easy to just put on and go out, so I wore it for all kinds of occasions. And the second one was my olive dress. It's kind of dressy, and I wore it for a lot of date nights and going out at night. And my third was definitely my linen shorts. You would just switch out the tops and make different outfits with it. And that's really how it should be. Clothes are meant to be worn and not stored. And it really shows how a little bit of intentionality can really help us appreciate and love the things that we already have, instead of blindly adding more to the pile. I don't think I could ever go back to not having a capsule wardrobe ever again, but I will say that 33 was not enough for me. Well, I don't want to say enough, but it definitely would have been nicer and more practical to have more than 33 pieces. This was definitely one of the hottest summers and I sweat a lot, so I ended up doing a lot of wash, maybe a couple of times a week. That definitely showed. There was more wear and tear on my clothes. Also, when I didn't have time for laundry, I ran out of things really quickly and I didn't have anything to wear. And to add to that, I lost a little bit of weight. I've mentioned this before, that I fluctuate a lot, but I didn't account for it in these 3 months because it was such a short time, so I thought, but I did feel that my denim jeans and some of my pants felt a little bit looser, and I wish that I had different sizes so that I could wear it more comfortably. 33 pieces, it just didn't give me enough wiggle room for life to happen. And I think if I were to do it again, I would change things a little bit to make sure that it fits me and my lifestyle. For example, I would first start with 33 pieces or however many pieces. At the end of every month, I would kind of re-examine and see which pieces I didn't really get use out of and maybe switch it out or add a couple of more pieces that would make my life a little bit easier. And if I do this for every month for 3 months, I feel like I would get closer to having a more functional capsule wardrobe. My priorities started shifting pretty early on. I really had no idea how much of my time, energy, mental space I was dedicating towards clothes. And I'm not talking about just buying clothes, but I'm talking about getting dressed in the morning, doing laundry, organizing, decluttering, and just browsing. And not that that's a bad thing, because I actually love clothes. I love beautiful clothes. I love looking at beautiful outfits on different people. But definitely for my day-to-day, because I simplified that area of my life, I was able to spend my energy prioritizing other things. Like, I had this big Korea and Japan trip coming up, so I was able to extensively research into this trip. I spent a lot of time with people, my friends, my family, that came over, and just enjoying the outdoors, just having a really good time. And also I made some side trips. I went to Maui and also Kauai. I was able to pack within 10 minutes or so, which made it so easy. And that's exactly how I want to prioritize my life moving forward, because these material things, they really don't give me a lasting value. Secondly, I started prioritizing myself. I actually thought that I would get bored of my clothes, but the opposite happened. I actually really enjoyed my clothes. I woke up every day and I felt like I was dressing for myself, and I looked like myself, and it felt like a uniform that I was putting on every day. It really made me reflect. In the past, was I really dressing for myself, or was I dressing for others? And how much of my clothes that I bought were for me versus for other people or for taking photos. I could put on the most expensive pieces of clothing and beautiful fabric. If I don't feel like myself in it, I don't think that there's room for it in my life anymore. By the way, nobody ever noticed that I was wearing the same clothes over and over again. I mean, it's much easier because I work from home, and when I see my friends or when I see family, I don't know what they're wearing. I don't think they care what I'm wearing. And even if they do, I don't think it really matters, because what matters is how authentic I feel in my clothes, how comfortable I feel in my clothes, and how that reflects on everything else throughout the day. I brought these clothes that needed tailoring to Korea, and they fixed it within, I don't know, 5 minutes. So this, they sewed it back up. It was falling apart, but now it's as good as new and I can wear it again. Overall, I feel like this was such a valuable and fun experience. I had a lot of fun doing it. I just kind of learned a lot about myself, my habits, my spending habits, and so on. I know that some of you guys did it with me, so I would love to know how it went for you. What lessons did you learn? Would you do it again? Would you recommend it to people? If you are curious about it and you've never heard of Project 333, I will leave the link to the book in the description below. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Until the next video, take care, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.